Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Black Sheep Meat and I am here for Flosstube number 23, 24. I don't remember. But we're back for more Flosstube updates. First of all, I just want to say I did do a whip parade earlier in January, and it was my first ever whip parade, which was really fun to go through all my projects. But I just want to say a big thank you to all the love that I got on that video, and welcome to everybody who is new here. Thank you so much for checking out my video, and I really am glad that you enjoyed it. And I hope that you continue to come hang out with me and we can enable each other. We can enable each other with tons of new projects. I have also been scoping out everybody's whip parades to also find a ton of new patterns that I'm absolutely loving and I would love to start one day in the near future. Um, we'll talk about some of those in a little bit, but I guess there's been a lot going on and I've been very, very busy. So I've been wanting to record this video much sooner than now, but finally getting to it. So hopefully I can get back to a more of a 2-week schedule update video and not so far between each one. But with the end of December and all of January, I did get a lot of crafting time in, a lot of stitching time in. That being said, since I did my whip parade video, you saw a lot of the progress I got from the end of December and beginning of January. So I'm going to try my best to not get too much into those stats, and I'm just going to get more into what you haven't seen since my whip parade video, as well as a few little things that I just want to mention here and there that I just want to do a little bit of touch on as far as progress went on some of those stats that I showed in my whip parade that I did work on this month. So we'll just get right into it because I don't want to make this a million years long. I'm going to try not to because, like I said, there is a lot to go through. So let's get into the stitching. I guess let's start with my goals. I had a lot of goals in January, um, and most of them I did reach. So let's go over all the goals that I had. First of all, I did start with New Normal. This is a long dog sampler. And this one I plan to have as a finish this year. So by December, I want this one to be done. So I have a goal of 1,200 stitches on it a month. So let's see, this is where I got to. And again, I haven't worked on this since the whip parade video. But I just wanted to note it that I did reach the goal on this and I finished this whole bubble. The only thing I want to mention about this whole bubble is that I actually messed up on the lower half that I had started, and I had to frog how much I wrote it down 958 stitches down here and restitch them and complete the bubble. So I did technically do quite a bit of stitching to get up to my goal that I wanted. I think I did 2,108 stitches to reach where I needed to be on this. But I did make it. It was a little frustrating, but I did restitch. I recently learned that there are two types of cross stitchers. There are froggers and there are fudgers. My chat on Twitch, a lot of them are fudgers. I am definitely a frogger. It will bother me if I leave something there. So I took them all out and I restitched. I already have a mistake over here somewhere, so I can't count off of this bubble, and I didn't want to do that over here as well. So I fixed it all. It's all where it should be now. But I did finish that whole bubble there, and I'm really, really loving how it's looking so far. Again, this is my own colorway using the Silks for You, and I forget the number, but I'll put it up for you to see. But I did reach the goal on this, so this is now at 18,707, and I'm at 49.10%, so I am on the verge of halfway on this. and I worked on this for 3 days. So this was goal number 1 for January, and I got it off the list. The next goal that I have, because I want to finish this pretty quickly, is Hug Your Brain. This is a Witchy Stitcher pattern that was once a Patreon pattern and is now available in the shop. But I am doing this one again for a charity event that I hold in May where I raise money for $4. They are a nonprofit organization who can either help reduce or completely pay off unpaid medical bills. I'm very, very excited for this year's charity event that's going to be on May 9th over on my Twitch channel. But this will be one of the giveaways that I plan to finish and frame and have it once we reach a certain donation goal or anything like that. We were able to raise $3,000 last year. So I'm very, very, very much putting more work so we can see if we can reach that goal, if not surpass it. But this is Hug Your Brain, and this is where I got to. Um, this is actually different from when you saw it, my whip parade video, because I did work on this recently. I actually hit my goal on it for February. I did work on this the first 2 days. So it did start on that whole bubble with the skeleton over here. Where am I? Here we go. So all of this is new. The words and the hearts around were what were there. So I did get a lot of progress on this the first 2 days of February when I had any time to craft because it's been chaos. So I did reach my goal on this already for the month. So this will be put away until next month unless I decide to pull it out and I have a little extra stitching time. But I did get 1,900. Actually, I didn't write down my updated numbers, but I can tell you right now what it is at the moment. Right now it's at 3,219 stitches, and I'm at 58.23%. And I did work on this for 2 days already in February. I believe I worked on this for 4 days in January. So 6 days in total so far on this. This is on Picture This Plus 18 count shadow. It's a piece that I had left over from a past cross stitch project. But I love how it's turning out so far. It's so freaking pretty with those bright pinks and those teals. I'm sorry, my sun's coming in. There we go. Get the sun out of the way. But it is super vibrant. I love it. It's gonna be super fun when it's done, I think. There's definitely a lot of confetti in his head, but once I get to the ghost, it's all color block, and I think that will go really quickly. But that is where I got to on Hug Your Brain today. I believe I had a 2,000 stitch goal for this, and I'm hoping I'll finish it by March. I think I'll have a little more than 2,000 stitches left. Just by maybe 200 or so, 200 to 300 stitches over 2,000. So I might just finish this next month and get it done. So it's ready for May. The next one I worked on is Windrunner. Now Windrunner had a change of heart as well as my Whip Go goals because Windrunner is a Whip Go pool for January. I was hoping to get Windrunner done by the end of this year. But since it is so confetti heavy and it is very white on white stitching, it's taken me a lot longer to even get to a small goal. So I'm going to take Windrunner off of my finish this year. Maybe next year will be the big finish. But I also did lower all my Whip Go goals, which I knew was going to happen because I didn't realize how much extra stitching I wanted to add in for other bigger goals that I have, such as New Normal and a couple others I have to show in a bit. So I did lower a lot of my big Whip Go goals. So a lot of my full coverages are now 2,000 stitches for the month, and my smaller ones are going to be 1,000. But since she is definitely on the smaller side of full coverage, I'm going to do, I made the goal as of 1,000. And I did get the 1,000 stitches done on her at the very last minute of January. Um, you can see right here is where I got a lot of the progress in. So I did finish these 2 blocks right here. 3 blocks? Three rows of blocks of 2. I don't know what I'm saying. I finished this whole chunk right here. And then I did a little bit of the section right here as well. So that was a little over 1,000 stitches. I got 1,035 stitches. So it puts me at 21,167 and 39.59%. And I did work on her for 3 days. I almost thought I wasn't going to reach anything with her. I was at around 3 or 400, and I didn't think I was going to make it. So those last few days I did push to get those 1,000 stitches in. So she, will see. I believe I have her on my whip go board twice, so she should come out again for another 1,000 stitches. But once I got into the hang of it, I was having a lot of fun with her. I was having a lot of fun with her. Um, so I don't know. I did end up buying an Ottlight with Christmas money. I got a couple Michaels gift cards, and I got an Ottlight, and that helps immensely with my lighting. So we'll see if I can pull her out again. And maybe if I have the time, since I lowered a lot of my goals, I'll try and get a little bit more on her next time. But this is Windrunner. It is by Kendra Gloomblade. This is from Thread Geeks, but unfortunately is since been retired. And this is on a 28 count easy grid, 2/1/10 stitch. So that is what she's looking like so far. But I'm happy I got those 1,000 stitches in last minute. So that goal was definitely met. And then after Windrunner, I did want to mention I did start the Pale Elf, which you can see that in my whip parade, where I talk about it a little more. But I did start that in January, and I only did a small start. Sadly, I haven't had a chance to work on it again, but I did want to mention that that was something in January that I did work on, and I did start it. Next, I had another whip go goal, which is from the Creepy Cross Stitch book. And this is the first one I worked on that I did kind of show in my whip parade. And it is Thistle and Bones. And here is my finish for it. I probably should have put something behind it so you don't get that. There we go. But that is the finish of Thistle and Bones. This one was a start and finish, so a SAF, basically. And I did 1,477 stitches, and I worked on this for 2 days. So it was a quick, easy one. Like I said, all of the Creepy Cross Stitch books patterns, there's 25, and they're all on a whip go board. And I want to finish them all this year so I can decorate my downstairs guest bathroom. So I did finish this one. So this is ready to go for being framed at some point or another. But there is my quick finish on Thistle and Bones. So whip go board goal was completed there. I did work on Love My Bear. This is my stamped cross stitch pattern. And this one, the reason I pulled this out is because I owed my Twitch stream a 1,000 stitch goal day where I basically didn't end stream until I got my 1,000 stitches. This did take me 10.5 hours because I am very chatty. So I was definitely talking up a storm while working on this, but I did complete my 1,000 stitches. So here is where I got to. And again, this is just going to be a quick recap on it because I did show this one already in the whip parade, but I got this whole little chunk over here for 1,000 stitches. I don't have this digitally saved, so I kind of have to guess at how much I'm doing. I want to say there's probably about 2,000 or 3,000 stitches done on this. But I was able to count the blocks out for 1,000 stitches. So I knew as long as I finished that area, I got to my goal. But yes, this is Love My Bear. The artist is Marie Antoinette Kailau, and this is from Oraloa. It is a licensed stamp cross stitch, so the artist does get paid, which is really freaking cool. But for the most part, this is a 36,864 stitch piece. It is a 14 count. So that would put me around 9K. If I did around 3,000 stitches, I think puts me around 9K. It puts me around 9%. And I did only work on this for one day. So that was another goal that I got to in January, was my 1,000 stitches on this. After that, the projects I did pull out to work on, it was during the 24 hours of cross stitch weekend, which I was very excited because it was also my very first time participating in 24 hours of cross stitch. I was very, very busy that weekend, so I was surprised with how much time I was able to cross stitch. I did put in 15 hours of stitching time through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which like I said, I'm very impressed that I was able to get that far. The main project I did work on was Halloween Mickey, which is another whip go pull for January. And that was with my older goal where I needed 4,000 stitches. Um, I had already started stitching on it for a few days, so I finished up my 4,000 stitches during the 24 hours of cross stitch. But here is where I got to. I got quite a bit done. I was very impressed how much 4,000 stitches put on this project. Um, a lot of the pillar here is where I worked. I filled in as much as I could. There's a lot of confetti. You can see all the little dots. I'll give you a close up in a second. And then I moved over here because I was like, okay, that was a lot of confetti. I need a little more color blocking. So I went over here and I was able to use just one color and make a lot of progress throughout, even though it was still a lot of counting. Um, it was quite a bit. So here is what it looks like, but you can see there's this very, very confetti heavy piece. Uh, but it was a big chunk. It was a big chunk that got done. So I was really, really happy with the progress on this. But let's see. I got 4,032 stitches. So it puts me at 31,243. And I'm at 23.81%. And I did work on this for 5 days. So a couple days at the beginning of the month, and then a couple days during the 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. But very, very happy with the progress on this. I was having a lot of fun here, but it's going to a point where I don't know where to go next because I'm not excited about either direction right now. Um, but I'm happy. I'm happy there's progress and it shows. That was a big chunk. So this will be put away. It will get called again. It is on the wheel twice. So this will get another call later on in the year, whenever that happens. That is Halloween Mickey. This is also an Etsy pattern. It is not available anymore. And I'm working on this on a 25 count easy grid 2/1 10 stitch. So after that goal, I had one more day of 24 hours of cross stitch, and it was my second creepy cross stitch book pull for WhipGo, and that was a new start. So I spent that last Sunday working on the Grim, and this one I was able to finish a few days later. So I kind of started it and then I kept going the rest of the week till it was done. But this is also a SAF. It is a start and finish. And this is my finish. Look how cute. I was not like in love with this pattern in the book. Like it wasn't one of my favorites. But now that I have it stitched up, I think it's so pretty. It's so, I don't know. The details are really fun. The whole filigree and everything is really pretty. It's simple, but It's so decorative. I love this. The candles are really cute. I probably should have dyed. I did dye this fabric. This is just regular 14 count Aida. I did dye the fabric, and I kind of wish I dyed it a little darker, because the candles didn't show up as clearly. And some of the little flowers don't. They're very subtle, but I think it still works. I think it still works, so I'm not gonna bother with it. But I did finish this. This was 4,194 stitches, very deceivingly big. And I worked on this for 6 days. This took me a minute to get done. This took me a minute to get done. A lot of it was the dog, of course. Um, but again, this is deceivingly big. It doesn't look like it would have that much stitches, but it really does. But it is done, so this is also ready to go and be framed to put up in my bathroom. I don't know if I'm gonna wait to um, to do them all and put them all at once, or if I start framing them now and then just kind of, mosaic them throughout the bathroom. My only issue with that is if I run into one that looks like in an awkward spot. So I don't know. Maybe I'll wait till a couple more is done before I get to work on that. So this one is done. That was another goal that was met. And then the last goal that I worked on, and the only goal that I didn't reach for January because of many frustrations, is black roses. This is an owl forest embroidery pattern. Um, I started this last month in December, and I decided to make this a finish this year. Long story short, I have a friend over on Twitch, Duo MTL. He does a cross stitch pattern all year that he works on stream, and then he gives it away at the end of the year. This year he's doing another Chrono Trigger piece. I haven't played that, so I didn't want to do that one specifically. But I decided to pick a project that's around the same amount of stitches and just keep up with his, and that way I can get mine done with his as well. And so I decided to pick this one, and here's where I got so far. It is quite a bit more from when you've seen it last time. It is in the nerd, but you can see everything that's done on it. Um, as you can see, there is quite a bit of fill-in from the last time that it was shown. I got a lot of the cathedral going now, and I got a couple more roses in here. So I've had some frustrations with this because I messed up. I messed up. Um, the main thing that's messed up is that there's a branch right here. This flower was supposed to be attached to this branch. So I put it on the wrong side, which pushed this over and pushed this over. So the thing with this project is that I realized I made the mistake when I started stitching the spire right here, and realized that's where I was over 4 stitches. Um, I was very conflicted if I should frog this whole piece, because again, I'm a frogger, and restitch, or if I should frog this whole side and restitch it. I have plenty of border on both sides, but my issue is that this is a mirrored piece. So whatever is on this side will be reflected on the other side. And the border that goes around it can definitely get thrown off if I fudge it. So I, again, ended up asking chat what they thought, and the best solution that we came up with was that I would take out the spire I had stitched, which like 104 stitches, and then re-stitch it in the right spot so that all of this is fine. And then later, after I've completed most of it, I can come back. If I don't like it, I can come back and take out the flowers. My friend did suggest to take off just the border that's out of line, but I think that would still bother me a lot. So I'll just frog it later. So at least it's not something very frustrating right now. It's something I can fix later on with less frustrations as I have more of it done. It might look like a much smaller area. So I ended up moving the spire over. Lo and behold, it was still wrong. I was still over one spot because apparently I also have a mistake in this rose that I counted off of. So I had to frog it again, which was another 100 and something stitches. So I think I'm going to start from here next time, not separately. I will start from here and continue stitching this way to get the spire correct. But I put her down, so even though I did quite a bit of stitching on it, I almost reached my goal. I was probably maybe around a little over 3,000. I need 3,000 stitches on this a month. I was maybe around 2,000 stitches, and then I stopped and I said, you know what, I gotta put this down. I'll work on it later and I'll try and catch up to the stitches I need later on. So I did put it down, but it is still obviously on the nurge because I have to do another 3,000 stitches this month. So I'm going to do my best to work over here and attach the spire, and then I'll move over and I'll continue going. Um, so this is the one goal I didn't reach this month, which I'm, everything said and done, it's all right. I'm not mad at it. Um, but yes, this one will be a finish at the end of the year. But before I got to all that, I did also start playing Monopoly with a group of friends in the Discord. Discord is like a community server. A lot of Twitch streamers have it. I think a few YouTubers also have it. But basically, you join their Discord server, and there's a bunch of channels for different things. Could be movies, could be this and that. But it's just chat rooms, basically, where you can post pictures and type out things. Anyways, another streamer, Vintage Sogal, and Sammy J Stitches, who is also a floss tuber here on YouTube, they started hosting Monopoly. And there's a couple other people also hosting. And so I last minute decided to join to play Monopoly for cross stitch. And that's all it is. It's a Monopoly board, and we all roll a dice, and on specific places we land, we have to do so many stitches on our 22 projects of whips that we decided to use. It's not the same as my WhipGo board whip list. I did change a few out with some of the new starts that I have. But it did land on this for my very first one. I had to do 200 stitches on a overdyed floss project, which was this. So I was already struggling. Actually, it was before I messed up. I did have my turn. So I did 200 stitches on this, and I was like, 2 for 1 goal. It's part of my WhipGo goal I gotta do. Or not my WhipGo. It's part of it is my WhipGo goal as well, but it is part of my end of year finish goal. So I did end up doing completely 2,183 stitches. It's at 3,515, and I'm at 9.65%. And I did work on this for 4 days, and then all the frustration hit, and I frogged, and it was time to put it down. So I'll see if I can do a better job this month and hopefully get some more progress that I desperately want to get on this coming up. So that is all the projects I worked on in January. Like I said, I did have some new starts in December that I did show in the whip parade. But for the most part, this is what I worked on just specifically in January alone. I do have the stats here for my goals. So I did do 9 out of 10 goals. One goal I haven't shown yet, and I'll explain in a bit. But out of my cross-stitching goals, 8 of them were completed out of 9. I stitched on 9 different projects. So I did stitch for 27 days, and I did 17,173 stitches in the month of January. I'm very impressed with that number, but that's also a large number, and I don't think I can do it again. That was a very large amount of stitching, but I will say it left very little time to do anything else I wanted to do. There were a couple projects I wanted to just pick up and start, and I couldn't do it because I had goals and I felt the pressure of getting my goals. And I love goals. As a Capricorn, I love goals, especially long term goals. Um, so I want to make time to do other things moving forward, which is why I considerably lowered my whip go since I do have other finishes I want to do. Since I do have Monopoly that I'm also playing, I definitely want to leave some playtime room in for anything else I want to work on because I do knit, I do crochet, I do a lot of different other crafts. So I want to make sure I keep that time in for those things. Um, that being said, for January, moving on to February, which we're in full swing now. Like I said, I did finish my first goal on Hug Your Brain. So that is my basic finish goal that I have on that. That's already done. But my Whipco pulls for this month is Cabin in the Woods from Flossabilities, which I have right here, kitted up, ready to go. I have not started it yet. I still have to hank my floss, but I did order the fabric, and it is the called for 32 count, 32, 32 count Belfast linen in charcoal. I was kind of looking for like a really nice taupe, like a really dark brownie gray taupe, but I couldn't find anything. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go with the original fabric because I love how it looks on that color. It just looks more taupe. So I was looking for more of a taupe vibe, but I couldn't find anything. But I'm happy. I'm really excited to try a 32 count. I've never done a 32 count. I don't know how I feel about linen because I do have my very first cross stitch project on linen, so I know it can be a little less stable than like Ada and like Easy Grid and everything like that. But I'm willing to give it a go. I've done 40 count linen before, and that wasn't too bad. I liked working on it. Um, but I will be doing 2/2. So that will be this one. I can't wait to get this started. So this is a whip go goal, and it's just to do 1,000 stitches on that. I also have Dark Fairy that is my other whip go goal. I don't know if the whip go board was listening, but I always say like wheel spins and random pulls always pull this project. So I always find it funny that I'm always pulling it out. Um, but this is Dark Fairy. This is by Alex Ruiz from Unconventional X Stitch, which is kind of nice because I believe there's an event with Unconventional X Stitch where it's like stitch 28 days on an Unconventional X Stitch project. And sadly, I've already missed 4 days. But I like the spirit of it. I like the spirit of this being pulled because it's my only Unconventional X Stitch. So the fact that it gets pulled this month for Whip Go is exciting. But I'm only was planning to do 2,000 stitches. If I have time, I'll do a little more. But I will do 2,000 for this goal. This is on a 28 count Easy Grid 2/110 stitch. I was parking a little bit. I don't know if I'll continue to park. I'm kind of over my little parking phase that I had. And I started stitching everything back in again. So we'll see how far I get with the parking. But I don't know which way I want to go. I don't know if I want to continue working this way and complete another page here. We'll see. We'll see. But this is Whip Go, so we'll see if I work on this before my next video. If I save it, if I end up saving it to later on in the month. After that, in the Creepy Cross Stitch book Whip Go board, quick warning for spiders: if you don't like, you can look away for a few seconds. But this is Gentle Monstrosity, and this will be a start and finish. And then now you can look back. I'm going to change it. And then I have Lover's Graves, which needs to be done as well. So those two are both going to be starts and finishes this month. And that is my WhipGo board. I don't know about Monopoly. It just depends what I roll and where I land. My turn is about to come. My second turn is about to come up. So I'm excited to see what it's going to have me work on. But I did kit up a bunch of projects that I'm really, really excited to start at some point or another. Some are on my WhipGo board and some are on my Monopoly board. And I can't wait to start all of them. And a lot of this will be meshed in with a little bit of haul because I needed to get a lot of the fabrics and a lot of the floss to work on these. I also went to Michael's and they had these really cool Creatology bags. I ran out of project bags. All my project bags I've made myself. I haven't done like a full bag show. This used to have an ice cream. It fell off. I haven't done a full bag show at all in a while, but I have made project bags before. I recently just bought one from someone and I can't wait till it gets here. So I'll show that when that comes in. But I needed some because I have so many projects now, they were kind of overflowing. So I got just a bunch of these. So these are nice to just have on hand. They're not the most expensive things, but they're sturdy enough that they'll hold my projects really nicely. But like I said, I have Cabin in the Woods ready to go. I also have the Heart Sampler by Bad Vibes Only. Now, I talked about this before, and I was wondering how I was going to utilize this Marine Mystic fabric, which was a Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Fabric of the Month Club um, from December. November? December. December. It's very pretty. This is an 18 count Ada and it's 17 by 26. And I was like, I really love this. And I had a comment from someone to suggest to do this fabric, but do it with um, black floss. And I loved that idea. I was like, how perfect to do a beautiful black heart on this. But my problem is that there's 4 different colors. So I tried to do a variation of the grays on here, which I think I put all those away, so I can't show you what that looked like. But they didn't pop as nicely as I had pictured, and I couldn't just use one color or two. There was a lot of different spots where the colors meshed together, and so if it was the same thing, it would blend and then you wouldn't see the image. So I said, you know what? There's a there's a diamond painting called Memento Mori on Diamond Art Club, and that color palette on that painting reminds me of this fabric. And I said, you know what? I think maybe I will keep the reds and put it on here, and I think that would pop perfectly. Isn't that really pretty? I think that would be really fun. The reds on the teals. So pretty. I might play around with some of these colors though and make them more red than pinky. I'm not sure I'm completely sold on this palette. There you can see it. Am I doing this really awkward and weird? Probably. Here we go. Can we see this better? I like it a lot. I do. I love it. I just don't know if I want to go more reds, like with 666 and like something super dark red, or if I want to keep it with these like pinky, like super vibrant pinks. I like this one right here. We'll see. So, but this is for the most part it. I do have a bunch of reds, so if I want to switch these out, I can easily do that before I get started. But that is the heart sampler. It's ready to go. I wish I could have done the black, but that pattern just had too many different little details in the different colors next to each other. That one's ready to go. Then I did get the fabric. Oh, this one has 2 projects. I did get the floss for the Harvest Cucumber from Owl Forest Embroidery. This is going to be for a friend. My friend Captain Casa, she loves pickles, and I said this is perfect, and I want to make it for her. So after I do Hug Your Brain today, this will be the next one to take that spot. But here's the color palette. It's very fun and very vibrant. But I had this fabric. This fabric I had dyed for the Yoshi piece that I finished in December. And this wasn't what I wanted, the green. So I decided to not use this and I put it in my stash. This is an 18 count? I'm pretty sure this is an 18 count. That's actually pretty true to color. And I showed everyone on stream and they said they loved the green on green. I think that's going to be perfect. There, so you can see them all. I think this is going to be perfect on this. So I got the fabric ready to go. I won't need this much. It's a much smaller pattern, but this is kitted up, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this one. I already know it. I already know it, and I can't wait to get it done and send it to her. The other one in here is the Rare Horror Flies by Noctiflora Designs. I got all my floss for it. Look at this color palette. This is so fun. Look at that. Very vibrant. The fabric I decided to choose is a Picture This Plus. This is Picture This Plus in Heather. It's an 18 count. And so I got this one. I loved how like purpley, it's like purple beige, yellow. And I thought this, since the original one was like purple green, the fabric that they used for that originally, I thought this would be just as nice and fun. And I think they all pop on here. I think that's going to be perfect. So this is Picture This Plus Heather. I love it. It's very pretty. I was really happy with this one. It was a little lighter than, I wouldn't say lighter. It definitely wasn't exactly what I thought, but it's close enough. It's close enough. So that one is ready to go when that gets called. At this point, I went on a little Picture This Plus fabric binge from 123 Stitch. So this one here is going to be the Greenhouse of Oddities, which is also now fully kitted up. Here's all the floss. Very, very large array of colors in this color palette. And the fabric I chose for it is Picture This Plus Havisham? But yeah, it's an Aida. It's very subtle. It's yellow, but it also looks white, but it is slightly yellow, and it has those like purpley-ish like blotches on there, but they're so subtle. And I think this is going to be great for the greenhouse because the greenhouse has so many things on there that I want to pop out. I think that's going to be a great match. There is white, but I think the white isn't on the outsides, so everything else should do well. There is this also, what is this? 453, that might be a little close, but I think it still is enough to not blend in too much. So that is for Greenhouse of Oddities. So that one's also ready to go. Then I have, which one is this one? Oh, this one is the other one, the Deadly Aquarium, the Deadly Aquarium Sal, also from, sorry, I didn't even say, they're from Lola Crow, Greenhouse of Oddities, and this one is from Lola Crow. I'm excited to see if there's another Sal this year, because if there is, I'm definitely going to participate. But this one's a much richer, darker color palette. And I ended up choosing Title by Picture This Plus. This is originally what I actually wanted shoot, what was it called? Was it varnish? I don't remember. There's a color I wanted, but it wasn't available. But it was like a very muted, musty, like green blue. But they didn't have any. So I went with Tidal and I thought Tidal was also perfect. And I was like, I mean, it's an ocean theme, right? It's or water. I was like, couldn't be better than getting a fabric named after water. So I think this is going to be great. It's actually a little more blue. It's showing very light gray right now. Let's see once I put the floss on if it'll show better. Maybe a little bit. That's better. The sun is going in and out right now, but that actually looks pretty. No, it's still looking more green, but it's okay. You get the idea. There are a couple colors close, but I saw where they're at and I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine once they're like stitched together and stuff. But that is Picture This Plus title, and this is gonna be for the Deadly Aquarium Sal. And the last one that I got, or the last fabric I ordered. Well, actually, I didn't order the fabric. I didn't order the fabric. But the last one I have kitted up ready to go is a new pattern that I found. And I quickly fell in love with it. I quickly fell in love with it. And this one is called Romeo and Juliet, Elf and Fawn. And it's by Cross Stitch Curiosity on Etsy. So I have this one ready to go, kitted up. I think it's stunning. As someone who loves um, romance, dark romance, dark fantasy romance, um, I couldn't resist this one. I think it's beautiful. It's perfect. I especially love any sort of fae romance books and stuff like that. So when I saw this, I needed to have it. So I did get all the floss for it. Very, very romantic colors. This is my, like, if you were to ask me what my favorite color is and you gave me a whole palette of it, it would be this. It would absolutely be this. And I will be stitching this on a 25 count easy grid. I bought these, I stocked up on 25 count a while ago. So I will just use a piece of this. It's a full coverage, so it won't matter. But this is also ready to go. I did get one more Picture This Plus fabric that I did put away into my stash. There's a couple fabrics I got actually. Um, just because I couldn't decide between this one with the Greenhouse of Oddities. I really wanted to do this one, but it was way too close on some of the colors that I knew it was gonna blend in a lot. But this one is the other fabric I got. It looks more purpley taupe than beige. I'd still say it's pretty close though, but yeah, it's like a purpley taupey beige. Very, very pretty. This one is called Shale, and it's another eight. All the Picture This Plus fabrics I got are 18 count. Um, it's so pretty. I want to make something on this. I just don't know what. Like I said, it was too dark for the Greenhouse of Oddities floss. There was a lot more colors that blended in, so I think I'll save this for something else in the future. I accidentally bought another one of the 32 count Belfast linens by accident. So I have another one now in my stash. That was accidental. I bought two. Uh, I did get the Fiberlicious Yummy Fiber Fabric of the Month Club for January. And this one is called Winter's Glow. Here it is here. This is an 18 count as well. And this is the piece. It's got like yellow. I guess they would be yellow, but like a very yellowy greenish splotches on there. It's very, very pretty. It's showing pretty true. It's maybe a little bit more vibrant blue, like slightly, but that's basically it right here, minus the sunspots down the middle. Um, there we go. It's very pretty. I just don't know what to put on this yet, so it's gonna go in my stash for now, but I'm excited to have it. I like the splotchiness more than anything else. It's funny because so far with all the mystery fabrics I've been grabbing, they've all been blue. They've all been blue, and now I'm like, I don't want just blue. I want some really funky, vibrant colors, but I keep ending up with blue. Case in point, I went back to Under the Sea Fabrics to stock up more for the on my classic colorworks for the black roses. I needed more floss. So I went to get more. So I got a couple skeins of each, and I picked up another mystery grab bag. This one I decided to pick was a 25 count linen. This is called Shimmering Azure by Stitcher's Eighth. Look how pretty that is. Again, it was a mystery pool, so I didn't know what I picked until after I bought it. It's the blues. I don't know. Blue isn't my favorite color or anything. Obviously, like I said, that color palette is my favorite color, like play on colors there, but I got so much blue now. What do I do with all the blue? And they're all different shades of blue, which is funny. Um, it's pretty. It's a very pretty blue. I love how it's got this dark tone to it, but I don't know. It's going in the stash. I did pick up a couple other fabrics. Um, this is blush, which is all one color, but I grabbed these because they were only a few dollars. This was $6. It is a 20 count Ada, 13 by 18 inches. This was $6, and it's called blush. But that's basically it right there. It's a full coverage color. It doesn't have any modeling or anything in it. But there's blush. I have to leave it in the packaging too because this doesn't have a label on it except for the package. So those will stay in packaging. The other one I got was $7.25. This is called Misty Blue, and this is a 16 count Ada, 13 by 18 by Stitcher's 8. This is more like that gray, like haunted. I really like this picture, this plus. I didn't even say. This is on an 18 count picture, this plus in haunted. And I thought this was similar, maybe a little bit more gray, lighter gray, but it's a solid color. So I really like this one. I think it's pretty. So when I saw this for a few dollars as well, I was like, I'll take it. The last thing I snagged over there is I got an email from the Witchy Stitcher for a shop restock. And when I peeked in at the email, it had the new Pony Black cross stitch tapestry needles, and I've only ever stitched with these. This is a pack of 100 size 26 needles I got for like $10, and they've lasted me my whole stitching journey. So when I saw these needles, not only are they beautiful because they're black, they're all black, which I needed. I was like, let me branch out and try a few different sizes on fabrics to see how I like it. Am I doing something wrong by just stitching everything with a 26 size needle? And so when I went to Under the Sea Fabrics, they had a whole thing of all the different sizes. So I got size 22, and like I said, they're all black. They're like a matte black needle. I got size 24. This one has the white tops on them. I'm not sure what the difference is. I got size 24 in just the all black. And I also got size 26 in all black because I usually stitch on 28, 25 count and an 18 count, sometimes 14. So since I was working on this one, You can see I have the needle here still. I had tried the 24 count. I had tried the 26 count, and that was what I normally use. This is very thin. So I think this is going to be great on my 25, 28 count projects. And then on, which one was I stitching on? It was the Hug Your Brain. On my Hug Your Brain, I was stitching on it with the, which one? The, I was stitching on it with the 22 count needle. And it's so much thicker, but it's so nice to use on 18 count. I really, really like, especially on Picture This Plus. Picture This Plus is so soft of a fabric that it's, you know, it can be a little difficult because it's so soft and it just kind of melts with the thread. Um, this needle size works so beautifully with it. I feel like my stitches look so much neater with this needle. So I've been having a lot of fun with these, and I'm definitely going to grab more next time I go and just stock up on these because they're like 2 something, which isn't crazy. So I did get a bunch of those as well. Other than that, I think, let me check my list here. That is it. Oh, I think I'll show those next time. I'll show them next time because I'm waiting for one more thing to come in for a project. But that is for the most part it. That is all the cross stitch stuff I have right now. The only last goal that I had for January is my diamond painting goal for my DPAL. The DPAL is a diamond paint along that I do with Captain Casa over on Twitch. Uh, it started as just us doing the same painting, and over the past couple of years, it's become a community thing where we throw a theme and then people participate with us. You have all year to complete your paintings, and by the end of the year, if you finish your painting, start and finish, you get custom buttons and stickers from her, and you get custom cover minder needle minders from me. And this year's theme is spooky. So my painting is Artemisa by Inez Guerrero from Diamond Art Club. And so my this is a big painting, so it's I want it to go all year so that we can continue to promote it throughout the year. And I've divided my sections, so as long as I do 4 sections a month, that is, I should be good to go by the end of the year where I'm not stressing to get it done. But here is where I'm at on Artemisa. Now, if you saw my last diamond painting, Astronomer, which is by Miles Pinkney from Diamond Art Club, that was a very huge painting, the biggest one I've ever done by far. This is the same length, but it's 10 inches shorter in width. So it's still large, but I do have the bottom row done. So my first 4 sections for January are completed. So I have this next row to do for February. But that's where she is. This is my new start, and I'm loving it. You can see she's gorgeous. Let's see if I can show you a little bit more here of the charting. She's very pretty. I know her eyes are covered from all, but you can see all my sections. It's all sectioned out. The nice thing about this one is that it's very monochromatic. So it doesn't have a lot of colors. I think it's got like 30 something colors on it. And there's not a lot of confetti areas. So it goes very quickly, which is nice compared to the last one I did was very confetti heavy and it had like 60 something colors. So this is a nice little change and it feels a lot more doable this time around. But that's my new start on it. So hopefully by the end of February, I'll have this second row done. So one row a month for 12 months and this will be done. But this was my last and final goal for January was this diamond painting. Other than that, anything that's left, I did, funny enough, pick up a lot of games last month, and I know I said I was like down to the wire with time. But I was able to touch a few things. I did, of course, play a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley because they had their new Star Path event for winter. I was able to finally get I was able to finally get everything in the Star Path. And this time around they had bonus rewards. So once you finish the main Star Path, they had bonus ones to collect as well. And that was actually really fun. And I loved a lot of the items in it. So I did a lot of Dreamlight Valley. I also picked up more of Love and Deep Space. That is a basically a gotcha game on mobile. So you can play it on your phone, on your tablet. It's very it's got four it's a dating sim. Basically it's a dating sim and it's a gotcha game. So you go in, you collect dailies, you can pay money to get certain scenes and voiceovers and things like that for each character that maybe you like. But I've been playing a lot of that one. That one's been a lot of fun. I did touch Infinity Nikki, which is created by the same company as Love and Deep Space, but it's more like Japanese Lolita, like fashions, I guess you could say. I don't know if it's specifically Japanese, but it's definitely got that vibe of fashion, and you collect outfits and dresses and things like that. And it also has that same like daily collect dailies, but this one has a little more of a map, so you have to play this on PC, I believe. So I did start it. I'm not that far into it yet, but it's very cute, and I can see why a lot of people are loving it right now. Definitely into the cozy for sure. It's definitely a cozy side game. I played a little bit more of Power Wash Simulator. Now, if you're someone who loves cozy, mindless games, you would be surprised how much Power Wash Simulator is very relaxing. You are basically power washing items, places, houses, and that's all you do. And you complete a list of things that you need to clean, and it takes time, but it's so mindless, and it's you can just sit there and zone out, and it shuts your brain off for sure, and it can be very addicting. Highly recommend Power Wash Sim. I know it sounds weird. It's a lot of fun. So I played another round or so of that. I did pick up a Menti. This game was randomly gifted to me because the game I wanted to play on stream didn't work at the time, which was Infinity Nikki. They were doing a maintenance thing, so it was down. So a friend gifted me a Menti. It is a scary game. It's very short though. It's only supposed to be an hour long game, but basically you're a photographer who's taking photographs of an old tomb in Egypt, and you go down into the tomb by yourself because you're sneaking in, and there's puzzles. It's I feel like it's in the early stages of the game where there's still like bugs, or there's still like, it's not like the most advanced advanced graphics game, but it was a lot of fun for an hour for sure, and it had some jump scares, and it had an interesting story. Um, but yeah, if you're looking for something small to get into, that's a good little quick one to go through. I did start a new playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. I have not finished my first playthrough, but I wanted to start my second one where I can kind of what they call save scum, where if I don't like the outcome, I can just restart from my last save to get the outcomes I want. Um, so I have restarted that, and as of right now, I haven't had to restart. It's been going a lot better since now I kind of understand the game a lot more. But Baldur's Gate 3 is like Dungeons and Dragons, so if you like that kind of thing or board games, highly recommend Baldur's Gate 3. But I have started my second playthrough. I have started playing Minami Lane. Now, this one's super cute. If you like the old school management sim games like Roller Coaster Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon, where you had to set up a theme park and it gave you a map and it gave you objectives, and you had to, like, make $2,000 in a year and have 5 roller coasters and this, and then you take the time to build. That's kind of what this game is, but it's on a street. So you have to add restaurants that sell ramen and boba, and you have to correct the pricing so that people are happy, so you get the customer satisfaction, but you also need to add so much decor and things like that. So it was very cute. I only played one level, but I want to play more of it. I really, really like this one. So super cozy if you like the cozy games. The last one I tried to dabble in is Melatonin. Melatonin is a rhythm game, so it's about music and sounds. So you would have to press the button going to the beat of the song, and it gives you the notification. So I would say it's kind of like, think of Guitar Hero, but Melatonin is like, it's got art and everything like that. So you're in scenes and things are happening. Like at one minute you're a guy in a chair and food's getting flipped at you through the music, and you have to press it to open your mouth at the right time to catch the food going to the beat. I'm really terrible at rhythm games. Um, so I got very frustrated after the first few rounds of it and I shut it off. But a lot of people love this game. So if you're someone who, it had great music, don't get me wrong, it had really good music. I loved the vibe. The art is really cute. Um, I love it. It's just too difficult of a game for me to have that precision. And that's all the games that I was able to touch last month. Like I said, I'm surprised I got so much gaming in. And then the few books I did finish, a couple audiobooks. I finally finished Supernova by Marissa Meyer. It's the third book in the Renegades trilogy. Marissa Meyer is also the author of the Cinder Chronicles, which I loved. They also did the Heartless book. I think that's what it's called, which is like the backstory of the Queen of Hearts, which I also really enjoyed. I love seeing that perspective of her backstory. So this one was about superheroes, and basically it's like modern day, and there's villains and superheroes, and there's that dynamic of like, um, superheroes are good and villains are bad, but then you see that the main characters are one on each side, and you see the dynamic of like, is it actually wrong to be a villain? Are they actually wrong? And are superheroes actually doing the right thing? So it's very cute. It's a YA. I have to listen to YAs on audiobook because I have kids running around the house and I don't want them to hear anything they shouldn't hear. So, so I've been listening to a lot of YAs, but I've been listening to that series for a long time now, and I just finally finished it just because that was normally our road trip book that I would listen to, and so it's taking time, but I finally wanted to finish it, and I loved it. Really enjoyed that series very much. And then I finished Sorcery of Thorns, which is by Margaret Rogerson. And this one, I believe it's a standalone. It felt like a standalone book, but it's basically, again, another YA, and it's about a girl who she is being an apprentice for a library of grimoires, and her director ends up getting murdered, and so she gets thrown into this basically giant plot of like who killed her and what happened, and she has to turn to the help of a wizard warlock, who are not usually the people that she should be associating with, and they have to find a way to figure out the mystery. It was a lot of fun. I did enjoy it a lot. It was I feel like toward the end it did kind of drag on. I think it could have been shortened up a lot quicker. But I liked it. I liked the whole dynamic of all the characters, and uh, again, it wasn't where I was expecting it to go at all. So it was enjoyable, and I really liked it. But those are the two books that I finished. I'm about to finish another one, but I'll talk about that next time once I finish the last hour of the audiobook. But I have been listening to a ton of audiobooks because it's just easier than to sit down and read an actual book. I just don't have time to sit and physically read. But if I can listen, I can stitch at the same time, or I can go drive around where I need to go and listen. So it's just been so much more easier to do it in that sense. But otherwise, I think that's it for this one. I'm sure I could ramble on so much longer, but I am gonna go start, getting ready for the rest of the day. But again, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love from my last video. That was really fun and really exciting to do a whip parade. So if you haven't seen that, I'll leave that linked up here so you can go check that one out and see all the projects I do have going on at the moment. A lot of new starts coming up in the future. I also realized I didn't give my Twitch schedule. I do have a schedule where I'm regularly on. So that's usually Mondays from 9:30 to 2 p.m. Central, and Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central. So if you want to come hang out over there, highly would love that. Mondays and Tuesdays are crafting. Wednesdays and Thursdays are usually me playing some sort of game. I think I might pick up Dredge, which is it's very very popular and a really great one, but it's a little spooky but not scary, and you're going back to an old haunted town. I forget exactly what the backstory is, but it's something about you're going back, I think, from where you used to live, and there's like murder and all kinds of things. But it's got a really great story from what I understand. So I think I might be picking that one up. And the crafts I'm always picking up whenever I'm in the mood for, and that can be anything. So I hope to see you all over there. If not, that is totally fine. Please come hang out with me here. I appreciate it as just as much. Um, but I think that'll be it. I'll try to update in the next couple weeks. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of first half of February, hopefully. First half of February. And I will see you all again next time.